Hello, 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 lovely YouTube peoples. We're back for yet another video. And I want to go ahead and preface this one with apologies in advance for however this might go. I don't know if it's going to go well or not. All of this is we all know the experiment, right? So, please don't start up with me squaring it. Not right now. I'm talking about fucking serious stuff. This is why I just apologized. This is why, because I already knew it wouldn't take any time at all. What, 30 seconds in and it's already gone to the fucking dogs. Please go lay down. Please go lay down. Please. Go lay down. Go lay down. Please. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. No. Go lay down. Food is in an hour. There's a whole hour. Y'all. So, my boyfriend had me watch Netflix. I'm sorry, I've been on Netflix, but I was late to it. I think people have probably already watched this. This is probably way old news. I don't care. Can't help it. I watched it. I'm curious. I thought instead of just pulling cards by my damn self in my own private life, that maybe I would just go ahead, flip this on and just record it and see what we get. If I get to the end of this video and I hate everything that I've recorded, you ain't gonna see this. But if you're seeing it, it's because I just threw it out there because I have questionable shame and probably a piss poor standard of what should be posted to the internet. So the Elisa Lam case, okay, Netflix, the Cecil Hotel documentary thing, that kind of true crime thing. So if I'm given a quick rundown of this, because I did not take any notes, I have no notes to reference here. I just have my working memory of watching the series. Basically, a young girl, early 20s, from Canada, decided, I want to go embrace this traveling adventure. Traveling is what I want to do. She was someone who was very good at writing and kept with her social media, always documenting everything that she was doing. She had a very clear itinerary of where she was going on what days, what she was going to be doing, and talking to her parents every single day and letting them know. So they go a day and haven't heard from her yet. And they're like, this feels really weird. We haven't heard from her yet. So at this particular time, she was in the Skid Row. She was in Skid Row in California at the Cecil Hotel, staying there, and didn't check in with her parents. So her parents called LAPD and was like, fix it, Jesus, because our daughter's gone missing. She shouldn't be. She would have talked to us by now, figure it out. They go to figure it out. Long story short, they were finding, where she had spent money, where she'd been on the town, anyone who had seen her, yada, yada, yada. They found security footage of her in the elevator of this hotel building acting quite erratically, unusually. And they thought, this is very weird. It's cause for concern. Was she interacting with somebody outside of the elevator that was unseen? Or was she just by herself? What? And as the documentary unfolds, they say that, the cops did searches of the entire hotel, found nothing, Fast forward to the end. They end up finding her body in a water tank on the roof of this multi-story hotel, 14, 15 stories high, something like that. Found a water tank up there. Well, they knew the water tank was up there. Pull up the hatch, find her in there. Oh, nope. Let me correct myself. They didn't open the hatch. The cops said the hatch was closed, which had people thinking, murder, because how do you fall into a water tank, butt-ass naked, by the way, with your clothes down on the bottom, you're floating, and the hatch is closed. Someone would have to close the hatch. Well, then later, the maintenance man's like, no, the hatch was open, so, conceivably, she could have fallen into the tank, and basically disrobed as she's drowning. And then by the end of the documentary, they blame it on, wait for it, she's bipolar. First of all, this is just a total noodle to pick. Y'all know I'm irreverent, right? And like I say everything wrong. I'm not like, PC is not my thing because I suck at it. Even though like I care, I still suck at it. But there's like stuff, she's bipolar. I'm like, she has bipolar disorder. It's like separating someone from the illness where it's like, you're like, she's cancer. She's liver failure. No, she has liver failure. She's in liver failure. Whatever. Anyway, that's a weird bone to pick, but I work in mental health, y'all. Okay, so it's something that I think about. It's something I care about. So I was very curious about this. I was like, what? A lot of this felt kind of like weird, right? And I was like, I want to kind of dig. I would like to dig because I don't like the way some of this sits. So let us dig with some questions that I have about this whole case. But first, vagina rocks, y'all. Placed. Connection to God is restored. Yes. Okay. Second of all alleged. It goes without saying, but I am going to say it. All alleged. For entertainment purposes only. I am nobody. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I am building monuments to the gods of speculation. All of this could be horseshit ridiculousness, and none of it a bit true. Okay? Okay. So, starting out though, I would like to see, first of all, I want to go ahead and... No, I shouldn't. I was like, I want to answer the most important question first, but then, it's like, then what does a video make? What entertainment does a video make? We need to put that last, which is, was she murdered or was this actually an accidental drowning? Because the medical examiner did mark it as accidental. And some people were like, some people weren't quite happy with the way that was, okay? We will ask that. We will ask that later in the video. So let's just go ahead, start out. First of all, what was... I'm curious beforehand to see, was there any type of corruption in the investigation or any of the people investigating this? Were they quick to just be like, we just want to hurry up and get answers? We've got crimes. This is LA. We got crimes popping off left, right, sideways. We don't have time to devote to this. Was there a situation where it was kind of like police pulling out resources prematurely and dropping the ball? I'm curious about that. Tell me about the situation with law enforcement and their allocation of resources. Okay. Right out of the gate, we got these two cards. I want to get a third one, though. I would like to get a third one. There we go. Yeah, okay. I'm starting out too much. We got the Four of Pentacles upright, a second four. Four of Cups. Four of Pentacles reversed. Damn me. Four of Pentacles reversed. Four of Cups upright. And then we have the Guru, which is the Hierophant, came out what I call Merkstave sideways. So this is how I figure out, is it supposed to be upright or reversed? Look at the science. Watch the science, okay? Because this is very, very particular science. Okay. Upright. So it's upright. The Hierophant upright. So when I'm looking at this, asking a question about cops, first of all, this is the police force, okay? When you are talking about the Hierophant stands for an agency or an institution. So this is LAPD. We have two fours coming out right out of the gate. Fours in numerology are all about security, safety, and stability. Security, obviously, LAPD, that's supposed to be public safety. It's supposed to be security officers. It's supposed to be lending yourself to that. But what am I seeing here? I'm seeing a dropping of the ball. It does feel like dropping the ball. And again, all alleged. I ain't coming for you, LAPD. I'm not, because look, I'm a crazy bitch reading out fucking pictures on a piece of paper. Okay? Who am I? Nobody. I ain't shit. Move on. But it feels like dropping the ball because in this upright, he's clutching the ball really hard. Okay, I've got both hands on it. I'm being very secure and I'm balancing stuff, but I got both hands on it. When you turn it upside down, what happens? This pinnacle falls right off and it's like you lose control of your grip here. So it feels like dropping the ball when it comes to safety, stability, security. To have it right next to another four. And this four, look at this. The actual picture on the card is like, I won't take it. I'm not taking this. It's like, here's like, please help. Here's like, this is help. This is resolve. This is some kind of like, I need, some kind of resolution, some kind of result that will bring me an emotional relief or emotional settling, some kind of thing like that, closure. And this is flat out crossing your arms to it like, nope, I can't mess with it. I can't take it. There's nothing I can do about this. So it does almost feel like, whether it's not enough information, too many roadblocks in it. So this doesn't have to be nefarious, okay? It doesn't have to be malice. It doesn't mean cops are bad, because to see the LAPD coming out upright, not reverse. This to me is crooked cops. But coming out in the upright, I don't see something that's like malice or crooked, but I do see dropping the ball and perhaps missing information that they should have found. There's stuff that they needed to find, stuff that they needed to do, stuff they needed to follow up on, but it was like prematurely washing your hands of it, or fumbling around with evidence or evidence gathering in a way that really does drop the ball on this case. So it was almost like it was like something about the investigation was compromised very early on. So already I'm beating on stuff. Already seeing that about the cop situation, okay? So I was very curious about that. Now, what I want to know, okay, was this something that was like Elisa Lam only involved, just her? This was an individual type of a thing? Or was this an incident that involved more than her? Because from that elevator footage, it looked like it was plausible that there were other people outside of camera view, outside of frame, that could have been interacting with her, and her not being like by herself. So was this like a multi-party thing, or was this a solo type of incident? Ooh. Okay. I'm seeing two cards. There's two cards in the middle, but I don't see them, so I'm going to cover them up really fast. The two cards that I could see, when I'm talking about true crime, I never really enjoy this card coming out. The Hangman, because like, when you're hung, what happens? You die by suffocation. Well, you could also break your neck, but it's like death by suffocation. Drowning also is a death by suffocation. So when I see this coming out in some kind of a true crime read, it just feels like it's just a little too graphic, because like sometimes I like to be a little lighthearted and a little jokey and stuff like that. And when I see that, it kind of like, it makes you like really understand, like, this is real shit happened. It's sad and it's heavy. You know what I mean? But with the Nine of Pentacles here, this is the single lady. This is the single lady. On both of these cards, I mean, I can't even think of any cards that have more than one person on the card, but this is a single person. Single. And one thing here, like, not trying to be like, this isn't me trying to be like nasty or racist or anything like that, but this looks like a lovely Asian lady, like long dark hair, lovely Asian lady. Elisa Lam was a lovely Asian lady with long dark hair. That was her. Like, this actually bears a physical resemblance to her. You know what I mean? Flossie girl, hey, you're looking good. Hey, bring the most. But when I'm seeing both of these cards, it does look like her death or her demise was almost like her own. This does kind of lend it a bit towards more of the accidental type of a flair. So I am kind of curious about this. Let's go ahead and ask, because it's just burning. It's burning in me. I have to ask, was this an accident? Was this an accident, or perhaps suicide, or perhaps murder? I'm curious, because even though I'm not feeling murder vibes off this, I'm being honest, but was this an accident? Was her death accidental? Okay, so when I say was her death accidental, I get the Queen of Wands coming out. Again, this feels kind of like somebody that, okay, she is a go-getter, but the thing about queen energy is queens are more receptive. It's a more passive energy versus a king energy is assertive. So if I get a queen when I'm asking about like accident versus suicide, accident is very passive. There wasn't like, I didn't think about this. I didn't premeditate. There was no intention to do this. Versus suicide, generally speaking, is I tried. I attempted it. It was an assertive thing, not a passive thing. So when I'm seeing this, I do kind of lean towards accidental or a passive type of thing, which I'm surprised that the cards were saying this. I thought that we might get a little bit more juice, a little more tea, a little bit more salacious, something coming out of this. But this does feel kind of like a passive energy. So, oh, we got two cards. Two cards. Oh, interesting. Okay, we've got the World card in reverse and the Seven of Cups upright. The reason why I say this is interesting, because, check it, peep it, y'all. The Hangman that already came out, the World card. Look at the pictures on both of these. Same exact position. Same exact anatomical position, down to the exact same leg crossed underneath the knee. Same picture, okay? Same picture. And we already know about like confirming like the death by suffocation, already confirming that. So this just feels more like that. Another creepy thing about this card in terms of it, so it's like confirming death by suffocation, as well as she looks like she could be, first of all, naked and floating ethereally in water with her only garb, only clothes kind of floating around her, which is exactly how they found her in that water tank. She was naked and floating in there with her clothes floating in there with her. And so to me, it feels like that just if you're being too literal, because I know the details of the case, it feels very like a confirmation. Also, the World card, the World. International, right? She was an international visitor to the U.S. She was Canadian. Yeah, we're neighbors. Hey, neighbor. But still yet, she was international. This was a Canadian lady that came over here. So it's also lending to that storyline. But if I'm talking about, like, again, the question here was specifically about, like, was this an accident or was this intentional? This card made me feel like accident. The World card in reverse feels like not complete. You know, if I saw it upright, this feels like I completed it. I finished the job, which feels very much so like I did it. I tried to. I had the intention of finishing it and closing this out. I had the intention of like going forward into the light. I had that intention. But this came out in the reverse, which again makes me feel like I didn't mean to. Like, it does feel like an accident. It feels like, you know, I wasn't trying to complete. I wasn't trying to end things, because this is an ending. This is not an ending. This is unfinished business. So it feels like, you know, the another card that lends itself to accident. Now, what is interesting here that we'll talk about, this card, the Seven of Cups upright, is a card of confusion. A card of confusion, a card of brain fog. And look, explicitly on here, what do we have? You got fucking Mary Jane going on here. Now, it doesn't, you know, and shrooms and stuff like that. So you got weed, you got shrooms, you got some other kind of illicit substance here, whatevs, right? Like, you know, I'm not someone here who's getting judgy about substances, but there was a question in there of like, was she fucking off her tits? Like, had somebody slipped or something? Had she taken drugs recreationally? Was she playing around? It was something that was plausible. They did do toxicology reports, and to my recollection, they didn't find, unless I'm wrong, but I don't think that they found any illicit drugs in her system that they would have expected toxicology to pick up on, that would have said she was off her tits. So either it was something where like somebody slipped her something that was able to metabolize. She was in that tank for 19 days in the water. So either it was a substance that was able to metabolize out of her system that they didn't explicitly test for with toxicology, so it wouldn't have come up. Either it was something like that, Or it was just the case that what one thing that they did find was she had two medications that she was on for her bipolar disorder, and it showed that the levels were not as high as they should have been, which meant she was probably undertaking her meds. So when I see this card coming up, it feels like whether like I did get slipped some drugs that didn't show up, or I wasn't taking my drugs the way I was supposed to be taking my drugs in a way that caused me to be fucking confused. So in the elevator, that's what they were trying to insinuate by the end of the documentary. They were like, listen, here's a lady with bipolar disorder that was basically like not taking her medication as prescribed. So she was decompensating and getting worse and worse and worse. And now here she is in the elevator, basically acting out all of her like psychosis. She's just actively psychotic in the elevator. And that's what they were saying. And honestly, I was sitting there being like, that's kind of like unfair. You're pointing the finger and it doesn't really feel very nice, And I was sitting there being a little bit critical, but like, at least by what Tara was saying, it's actually kind of checking out. It's actually being confirmed by the cards. Surprise. Fucking surprise. I'm actually surprised. I'm like, well, I thought it was going to be a little bit more tea spilled than this. So, but not that I, want it to be like some kind of thing. It's just kind of, it feels a little tragic. Okay. I am curious about this though, like, so all of this feels like accident, if she is confused, but what was the nature of the confusion about then? Like, I'm curious about that. What was the nature of the confusion about? What was she confused about? Oh, shit. Oh, we have the Emperor coming out. To me, because there's a couple of ways this can go, but my first thought when I saw the Emperor, well, I don't know if you know or not, but but like when you are a very common delusion is a delusion of like grandiosity or paranoia about like other people. And so it's either one, delusions of well, let's just get before we go into it, why the Emperor? Is she feeling like somebody was following her, somebody was stalking her? Like, what about it? Okay, the Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, something that I feel like she was scared of. This is definitely fear. Because I was thinking, like, it could either be like, she had like this delusion of grandiosity where it's like, I can do whatever I want and I'm like invincible. And so you do stupid things like put yourself in a water tank, not realizing you're going to drown. You can't get out. You know what I mean? But it can also be like, fear. Because the Emperor is like daddy issues, right? Daddy issues. This is somebody who's big, bad, scary. It doesn't have to be big, bad, and scary. This person is upright, but still yet, it's kind of, it feels like some kind of a male influence that was something that she felt upset by or unsettled by, because she's not happy with this. Whoever this male individual is. One more on this, on this, like who this Emperor is and her relationship with this Emperor individual. One more on that. The Empress in reverse. Yeah, see, okay, the Emperor and the Empress, that's like your divine couple, right? But you're seeing the male upright and you're seeing the female in reverse. So there's like some kind of a divine couple here and some kind of like really big upset. So I don't know if her confusion here has to do with, and the Empress, by the way, I kind of take that as more like her energy being a female, But this is where like you're not on the same page with somebody else. You're getting something confused about somebody else. So there might be fear or paranoia or upset in regards to some male person, where it was almost like this male person kind of like started the domino effect, or she had some kind of like, could have been a delusional type thing about somebody. But I feel like there was something that she had some kind of a thought process about another person that she held in esteem that did not feel the same way that she felt about something. And I don't know if this is a romantic thing. Sometimes it can lend itself to that, but it feels like a major upset and something that she was confused about. So I'm feeling like delusional vibes here. This is a card of like delusions and psychosis, and this is major upset, and you're seeing that reflected here. So what was going through her head? What was going through her head? What was she thinking about? What was she thinking? That's two cards. Okay, we'll just take it. Oh, shit. Three of Cups and the Ten of Swords reverse. She was just thinking about trying to have a good time and to put something really, really painful behind her. This is like an avoidance kind of a thing, right? It's like, I'm trying to outrun my demons here. I feel like she was trying to like mask this with this. Now, this does, again, lend itself to like drinking too much alcohol or trying substances that you shouldn't be trying. Oh shit, this card came out and I didn't even see it. What was going through her brain. And I've got the Two of Wands upright here. And this to me is being a little bit, again, I'm feeling disconnected with reality, because sometimes this can be a bit of like dreaming big. Dreaming though, like daydreaming, dreaming big, I'm burping. Oh shit. But it's like, you're wishing for life to be different, to escape. Again, I'm feeling very escapist type stuff here. Escapist, avoidance, trying to outrun the past, outrun pain. I just did a fucking juke to my dog. Yes, you saw it. But she just wants her supper, and we're ignoring that fact. We are ignoring that fact. But it looks like she's trying to get away from her demons. She's trying to outrun her demons, and she's trying to numb out with other things, whether it's like by talking with people or by like all this travel agenda, stuff like that. But I feel like a major type of avoidance. So how did she end up? How did she end up in the fucking water tower though? How do you end up in the fucking water tower? Oh shit, both of these cards came out sideways. Does y'all see that? But both of them. All right, let's just do it again, right? Science. This came out sideways again. Science. That feels upright to me. This one. And that one feels reversed. Okay, so we're just going to take it as that. The Ten of Cups upright and the Lovers in reverse. I'm not saying that there was some kind of like person that she had feelings for, because how would I actually know that? But for some reason I'm feeling that, because we've got, again, the Emperor and the Empress, which lends itself to be kind of like a relationship or somebody that you might have a crush on or feelings on. Or it's like, I thought that it was like one way with somebody, like I'm just trying to have a good time with somebody, and so I'm thinking that we're having a good time, but come to find out that we're fucking not, because the Nine of Cups reverse and the Ten of Swords reverse, we're not having a good time here. So again, it's like, this was the goal. I wanted something to feel good. I wanted this to be fun. I wanted this to be the trip of the lifetime with somebody, like, and have fun and have a good time. But like somewhere along the lines here, somebody, I feel like she had some kind of a delusion about somebody perhaps, or had it in her head about somebody, got confused with regards to somebody. And that's almost like what really set the dominoes off for her in a way where perhaps now she's trying to escape, she's trying to avoid, and she ends up having perhaps a psychotic lapse or a breakdown, and that's how she accidentally ends up in this fucking water tank and dies. I mean, that's fucking sad. It is sad, but I'm seeing romantic leanings in here. And nowhere in that documentary did it really mention romantic leanings, but I am seeing that. Like what you thought this was going to be ended up not being that. So, this is like a major upset. You've got the fantasy of what you thought this was going to be, and it wasn't that. And it's like it sets you off, and you're already not taking your meds as you should, and you get fucking confused. I'm curious as well. Let's go ahead and put this back in here. I know I can't be making these videos so fucking long, right? It doesn't matter. But I'm confused about like the elevator. Was she alone with the elevator thing, or was she actually interacting with somebody? Was she actually interacting with somebody with this elevator scene? Because that was what ended up being such a big deal. This elevator thing, was this like an act of psychosis, or was she interacting with? I think she could have been interacting with somebody. I'm telling you, because he came out before. I feel like this is somebody that she might have been like engaging with. Whether this was somebody she had kind of like a romantic feeling, like we go to the bar in the hotel, we meet up at the bar, we have like a thing, we're like talking, we're hanging out, we think, like that Three of Cups, like clink clink, we're having alcohol, we're drinking, like this is a good thing. Like I'm thinking like, oh, we got the little flirt going on, and then you've got in your mind like, oh, this is something, and then like he turns around and he's like, it's not like that though. And then it's something that just starts off with like, what? Or are you afraid of this person now? Are you trying to run away from this person? Like, what about him with the elevator? This person in the elevator, tell me more. Was she afraid of this person? Was she trying to get away from this person? What was it? Was she afraid, or was she trying to get away from this person? What was it? Again, we got the 9 of Cups reverse, which is like you're having your emotions shattered. So it was like the fantasy not becoming reality. We had the Lovers reverse, which is like a breakup card, the fantasy not becoming a reality. The 10 of Pentacles reverse, a breakup card, the fantasy not becoming reality. Did she have a delusion or a misunderstanding about a relationship with somebody? Was she kind of feeling something with somebody, and that turned on its head? It ended up not being what she expected it to be. But I'm not seeing fear by this. What was this something? Tell me more about it. I almost feel like I should take this top card. Should I? Yes. Queen of Pentacles. And again, y'all don't be calling me a racist just because this looks like her. She's beautiful, okay? She's beautiful, and the person on this card is beautiful. Again, somebody like the long dark hair with like the pink outfit. She had a red jacket on, the last thing she was wearing when she went missing. So again, it just kind of feels very referential. It feels kind of like her. You know what I mean? So, and this is... all of these pentacles, check it, like by pentacles, it looks like peace signs, but still the peace sign there on him. You got the peace signs here. You got her holding the peace sign. Okay. So it's like everybody's connected here. Here she is again, feeling some kind of way about him and seeing that this is falling through. So I'm getting the feeling that he was at the elevator. Was she trying to get away from him with the elevator? Was she trying to get away from him at the elevator? What the fuck, y'all? I'm telling you this shit. I'm telling you, tarot. This is why I believe in tarot, because all these things. This came out upright before, but it came out with the Lovers in reverse. And the Lovers in reverse basically is like, this was the fantasy, and that was the reality, right? And now it's coming out like this. Again, these are... like you broke my fucking heart, or I'm upset about this. Like, I'm really upset about this. Like, this was feeling like there was potential there, and it turned out not to be. Yeah, she was definitely upset. I wouldn't go as far as saying she was afraid, because I'm not seeing like all these sword cards that feel like fear, or conflict cards. It doesn't look like a fight. It doesn't look like fear. It just looks like she had it in her head that something was going to be something, and it turned out not to be that. And it was something that was enough to just set off the domino effect. Okay, if I was getting something from her perspective, what would she most want us to know? Kind of wrapping this up, because it does feel like an accident. It doesn't feel like she was afraid. It does feel like more broken heart kind of a maneuver than anything else. What would she most want us to know? All right, so Elisa Lam, what would you want us to know? Ooh, the Knight of Cups. There was emotional messages going back and forth. There was love talk. There was emotional messages or flirtation, perhaps, that was going back and forth. There was. So that's confirming this kind of like happy type stuff. The Hierophant, which is a card of commitment. So there were flirtations and romantic advances. There was some kind of a commitment type of discussions or issues of commitment that was something that perhaps that she felt seriously about. Yes, again, this is the second offering of a cup, So this is like, hey, I like you. I got a crush on you. I'm flirting with you. Like, do you want a piece of this? Like, here's an offer for you. Are you going to take the bait? You like, this is something like we can do something. There's some kind of commitment here. I'm like it feels like that. It feels like dangling some kind of commitment or some kind of an emotion. What else do you have to tell us? What else do you have to tell us? Because nobody on Netflix really brought up the romantic angle. They did bring up in there that she had talked about, like, hey, who wants to meet up, hit me up, or I want to meet some nice person. Like, they briefly touched on that, but they didn't say that there could have been someone here that she was actually, feeling some kind of a way about, But that's what I'm seeing. That is what I'm seeing. What else? This to me doesn't feel like fear. Like that would have been like her saying like I'm scared or I'm in danger. This feels like I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. I wasn't in danger. I wasn't paranoid. She's trying to say that she wasn't paranoid because people did say that she was behaving erratically in the elevator, acting as if she was paranoid of somebody that she was afraid of. And she was going to hide in the water tank because basically her bipolar was so bad and she had such a psychiatric snap that was going to be her hiding place and that she didn't think it through. But this to me is her saying she wasn't afraid and she wasn't paranoid. So, oh, fuck. The devil. This could have been lust. This to me doesn't necessarily indicate that there was foul play because, again, we were seeing that there was a lot of accidents here. And toxicology indicated that she wasn't like imbibing in drugs, alcohol, or any kind of illicit substances, mind-altering substances. You know what I mean? But seeing this out, this could be her saying like there was lust here. There was lust. There was feelings. There was, perhaps like they found her naked in the water. Perhaps there was something to do with that where there was like some kind of sexual thing going on, some kind of sexual emotional relationship going on. I do still feel like there was some kind of substances, mind-altering substances that toxicology did not pick up on. I'm not a doctor. I have no business fucking saying that. But to have the 7 of Cups come out and the Devil come out, both upright, both of them suggesting some kind of indulgence possibly with mind-altering substances, I'm just saying that's what I'm seeing in the cards. And I don't know shit about shit, but that's what I'm looking at. What else, Elisa? What else would you want to say? The 10 of Wands reverse. To me, when I see this, it feels like the end or giving up. It feels like giving up. I don't know if that feels like, hey, there was a fling and it's over. But it does. It feels kind of like a giving up energy. What about that? Oh, shit, girl. Yeah. Getting over it. I feel like, I do feel like emotionally she was upset. That there was some kind of an ending here that took place that really did upset her and she was trying to avoid it. She was trying to outrun her demons. I mean, we've already... She was trying to outrun her demons. That's what she's saying. There was some kind of an emotional thing and she was trying to outrun it. It was hard. She wanted to get away from it. Anything else you got to say before we call it? Knight of Wands. Yeah. I think that this individual dangled commitment in her face. They dangled commitment in her face like they were going to be something, and then they turned around and flipped the script on her. Oh, you mean this to me. You mean this to me, and this is what we could be. Oh, yeah, I'm only talking to you, or something like that, or I like you, you're cool. And then you find them fucking, like, doing nasty shit with somebody else down the fucking hall. Or something where it's like, Like, it doesn't mean that you're in, like, a super committed relationship to be disappointed by that. You know what I mean? You don't have to be super committed to somebody to be disappointed. And if she was emotionally fragile and already kind of, like, dealing with depressive episodes, it could have been enough to fucking send her over the edge. It could have been. I do feel accident vibes because I feel confusion about it. So it does kind of feel like an accident that was brought on by not like being fully in control of your faculties mentally. But this feels like the storyline that it was love based. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm seeing. Last card, very last card. Elisa, go ahead and tell us. Very last card. Single lady. I was single. It could have been like feeling almost like broken up with. So you're single now. I acted alone. This was me. It was all on me. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a murder. I do feel like it was her. Like the conclusion that Netflix led you to draw by the end of the series, a lot of people were sitting there being like, no, 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 no. But like by this, yeah. Except they didn't bring up a lot of this emotional stuff, but I'm seeing the emotional stuff. There was some kind of emotional promise here with him. Or if she, if she wasn't interested in men, then whomever her interest would lie in. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing clear as day. That storyline kept coming up over and over. The same cards kept coming up over and over. I can't make a different story out of that than what it is. That's what it is, y'all. That's what my cards are telling me. So, hey, take it for what it is, man. I mean, shit, I was expecting to hear something completely different than that. And for it to actually kind of conclude something that's not nefarious or salacious or sensationalized, and that Netflix might have been telling us like the truth or giving us the story like the way that it might have actually been, like, damn. It does seem like she was struggling and she was struggling with depression, and it was just like one last thing, something that she thought was going to be really good that turned out not being what she thought. And perhaps it was something that kind of like threw her over the edge, and she was just like, nope, and not completely as clear as she should have been. And because she wasn't taking her meds right and accidentally ended up in there. Fuck, man. That's what the cards were saying. You're not puking on the couch. She's not. It's because she was eating the cat's toy, eating fucking cotton. You gagged yourself on cotton. Whatevs. We're going to deal with that on our own. I'm not even getting into that shit on this video. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Sound off in the comments about anything and everything. I'm going to go feed this thing because apparently cotton didn't cut it, did it? Ooh. Okay, anyway, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.